Hello, my name is Mavi Graves, and I'm one of the veterinarians at Caring Pathways. And this is Bobby. He's our senior resident cat. Not super thrilled about being on camera right now, but Bobby is maybe 18 or 19 years old. We're not exactly sure. We adopted him from the Dumb Friends League in 2013. And I always joke that he was the last cat left there after a month-long doorbuster sale they were having. It was $10 for cat adoptions, and we showed up on the last day, and Bobby was the last cat left. So we're very happy that we got him. I'm probably going to let him go because he wants to get out of here. But yeah, he suffers from all the typical senior cat ailments, including chronic kidney disease. So every time I help a CKD kitty pass away, I think of Bobby and hope that he can hang in there. So, okay, Bobby, go back to bed. Again, my name is Mavi Graves, and I decided to go to vet school a little bit later in life. My husband and I were living in New York, and we had just weathered the recession of 2008, and I decided I needed to go back to school for something. And I had always loved animals and the human-animal bond, and so, vet school was sort of the obvious choice. So we moved back to Colorado, and I started taking my prereqs at Metro State and was shadowing veterinarians in different small animal and large animal settings. And I was sort of having second thoughts about vet school, actually. I wasn't sure if that was where I belonged. And it was funny, I was actually shadowing at an equine clinic down in Littleton, and this enormous draft horse came in for colic, this really severe colic. And it was decided that the horse needed to be euthanized. And so, all the techs gathered around and helped to facilitate this euthanasia of this mammoth horse. And I had never witnessed a euthanasia before, and it was just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It was just so emotional, but it's so beautiful at the same time. Just this really powerful experience of, making this sad moment as smooth as possible. And the owner afterwards was hugging everybody and hugged me. I was, didn't even work there, and he gave me a hug. And I remember thinking, wow, okay, yeah, if I can have experiences like this as a veterinarian, then veterinary medicine is for me. And at that time, I didn't know that providing end-of-life care could be a full-time gig. So that's sort of how in vet school, about halfway through, I discovered their pet hospice program. They have this student-run volunteer organization where vet students can go into people's homes where they have a pet that is experiencing a life-limiting illness. And that just put me on my track to become an end-of-life care veterinarian. And it was around that same time that I discovered Caring Pathways in Colorado, and I went to the IAHPC conference. That's the International Association of Animal Hospice and Palliative Care. I went to that conference, and Caring Pathways was there, and they said they had an externship for students, and so the rest is history. I really just found a home with Caring Pathways and found a career that I find incredibly meaningful and fulfilling. So I have a little friend here who maybe wants to make an appearance. He is not a senior. This is Foghorn. He is 3 years old. Foghorn was found in a ditch by somebody in Weld County. And so he was 2 days old at the Weld County shelter, and he was so far gone that they were going to euthanize him when they called my classmate, who is a star rehabber of sick kittens, and they said, we're going to euthanize this little kitten we found unless you want to try to save him. And she said, sure, send him my way. So she bottle fed him for his first life, which means he's a total snuggle bug. He is like the best cat, just wants to be with you all the time. But the flip side of that is that he's chronically sick because he never got his mother's antibodies, but he's worth it. Yeah, so I'm supposed to tell a little known fact about myself. Many years ago, I studied Chinese for my undergraduate degree, and I thought I was going to be a translator. And at one point, I was quite fluent. I'm not that fluent anymore, but I do remember a poem, which is a poem that all Chinese people know by heart, and any student of Chinese probably learns at some point. It's by the poet Li Bai. He's an 8th century poet, and the poem is about looking out the window and looking at the full moon and being nostalgic for your hometown. So here goes. 床前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头望明月，低头思故乡. That's my fun fact. As an end-of-life veterinarian working for Caring Pathways, I just want clients to know that this organization understands at all levels what it means to be walking your end-of-life journey with your pet. We all understand that it's an incredibly emotional and vulnerable time. I myself lost a kitty 2 years ago to lymphoma, and similar to so many pets who have been given a diagnosis like that, they do okay for a while and then suddenly you wake up and they're doing not okay. So when we were in that situation, we needed same-day emergent in-home euthanasia. So I personally understand what a vulnerable and scary situation that can be. So again, everybody at Caring Pathways, from the girls who answer the phone to the veterinarian who shows up, we understand that it's a difficult day, and our priority is to make that experience as smooth and peaceful for your pets and for yourselves as well. So I hope you'll not hesitate to call on us when you find yourself in that situation. It's an honor to serve.